It's in a straight line. Look at the speed the car has got, but he's only part of the way down the demonstrate, but the brake lights have to come on. Malcolm Johnson and everything behind him. Malcolm Johnson will then fall behind you, and Malcolm Johnson will know that one. Mawson's within the white line, sliding his way through the bomb hole is the MGB roadster of Simon Scantlebury starting that car to hand over to Mark Button, but on the brakes in towards Murray's for the first time at full racing speed. In theory, on the second lap of the race is that of Malcolm Johnson, and he will just now try and build that gap because he does have that winner's penalty to take into account. Yeah, he needs to try and escape up the road, knowing full well he's got an extra 20 seconds to spend in the pits compared to everybody. They complete lap number 1, and it's a 2.6 second lead that Malcolm Johnson has over Alan Ross Jones. As for Alex Elbrow, well, he has now got himself through and ahead of the Triumph TR4 of Neil Howe, and the next target that he's got is going to be trying to sneak his way through and past Mike Stevenson's Lotus Cortina, but the only way to do that is going to be in a straight line. You are never going to do it on the brakes at the wheel of the Plymouth Belvedere, so up towards the heavy braking area for the Wilson hairpin, and then it's the technical section on the infill part of the 300 that's next up, and again, that's not really going to suit the Plymouth Belvedere. This is where the Lotus Cortinas will have the advantage. Yeah, it is indeed. If we were on the 200 layout here at Snetterton, he'd be laughing, wouldn't he? There's plenty of open straights for Alex Elbrow to drive into, albeit having just passed that of Neil Howe. He's immediately going to be on the mirrors, heading into this technical section, as you say, Mark, albeit a slightly odd line by one of the Cortinas heading in towards Agostini. I think that was the number 52 of Mike Stevenson, who was previously fighting away with Neil Howe, but now with the Plymouth Belvedere sat between them. That battle has dissipated, a new one has formed, and it looks like Alex Elbrow has almost caught up in that tricky technical section of the 300 layout as they head round Doggies and then up towards Williams. The Bentley Straight is only going to go one way, and that'll be the way of Alex Elbrow. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Alex Elbrow doesn't need to join the gym, because this is going to be a real tricep and bicep workout for him, isn't it, these next 40 minutes? It's hard enough and a physical enough car to drive as it is, but without power steering, it's going to be really hard work. In a straight line, look at him, when he opens up the tap, he absolutely rockets his way through and past Mike Stevenson, and he gets the car anchored up the Alex Williams, it's fair to say that with the subject of having got this race is going to be good. Having still been great round and race, Alex Elbrow will look backwards, or not forwards. Yeah, absolutely. So a big, heavy car. The wheel base will help him in the wet, but the amount of power really struggle to get that car up to racing speed. Through Murray, sliding his way on the way out. Brilliant car control. And I mean, if you're looking for a car to test your car control, I think Alex Elbrow has found it in that Plymouth Belvedere. Comes towards us, flying over the start-finish line once more, and will close down the gap in a straight line to the two Cortinas up the road, but we'll have to dive on the brakes on the running towards Ritchie's, which is quite a deceptive corner. It draws you in early, but you can either double apex or late apex, but if you leave it too late, you find yourself in the field. Yeah, it's a quick corner still though, Ritchie's, even in the Plymouth Belvedere. So, yeah, it's one of those corners, as you say, that, you know, it's surprising how quick you can actually take Ritchie's, but you need to be really careful you don't run wide on the exit of it. You don't know that until you hit the apex and then realise you're carrying too much exit speed on occasion. So Malcolm Johnson leading the way still. He set the fastest lap of the race on the first flying lap of a 2 minutes 23.451. That is now 8.2 seconds quicker than anybody. So, sorry, 8.2 seconds up the road, I should say, is the lead advantage from Alan Ross Jones in second position. Alex Williams is there in third place from Alex Elbrow, who's there in fourth place. Fifth and sixth starting to close up once more, so Mike Stevenson, having just lost a place to the Plymouth Belvedere, is now starting to feel the pinch a little bit of the Triumph TR4 of Neil Howe that sits behind. That's the blue car with the red stripes down the centre of it, car number 420. Simon Scantlebury is next up at the wheel of the powder blue MGB Roadster. Then it's Adrian Block in the Galaxy ahead of Steve Atkinson's red and white MGB Roadster, and Andrew Rollinson in the Lotus Cortina, the man who saw around racing yesterday. Top 10 at this stage. It's now open as well, so we could potentially at the end of this lap See some of the drivers dying their way to the race. Progress made by Alex Elbrow, now plateaus rather in fourth position. Braking area for Burries comes the second place car of Alan Ross Jones. Race leader doesn't fit this time through. Malcolm Johnson opts to stay out. Jones in second place continues round, as does third place Alex Williams and the fourth place car of Alex Elbrow. And any pit stoppers this time through. Mike Stevenson and Neil Howe still remain out. So the top six all continuing to remain. Simon Scantlebury also wants to stay out and doesn't pit just as yet. What about Adrian Block at the wheel of the Galaxy? Now the Ford Galaxy stays out as well as he thunders his way over the start-finish line. Remember Bob Sherry racing one of those in the BARC historic saloons back in the early part of the 1980s, mid part of the 1980s. He was the man to beat in the big Galaxy 500. And then through and over the start-finish line comes Andrew Rollerson. So all of the cars that are circulating all opting to stay out. Nobody diving for the pit lane that time through. Andrew Rollerson running down in 10th position at the wheel of car number 159, same number as he ran on the Ford KA yesterday, in what was the Modern Classics race, wasn't it, I think? Now, the squabble for 5th and 6th has certainly got itself together, because Mike Stevenson at the wheel of number 52 Lotus Cortina, as he flicks his way through the left-hander at Hamilton, is coming under big pressure from Neil Howe's Triumph TR4, who would like to try and wiggle his way through. So the extra engine capacity of the TR4 will help. Twin cam engine is a very, very quick engine. So down the Bentley straight they will work their way. Mike Stevenson still hanging on to the position. Neil Howe's right. Nelson was the race leader heading towards the lap at Bury. 11.8 seconds of the lead advantage. Malcolm Johnson next needs to stop for an extra 20 seconds. That he might overcome that disadvantage of the extra time in the pits. Through he comes. 2 minutes 21.291 is now the new fastest lap of the race. And Alan Ross Jones. As Alan Ross Jones comes over the start-finish line, it's going to be up to 15 seconds or so. It's up to 16.8 seconds, so he's almost got the extra time in hand now on the pit stop. Alex is still together. Alex Williams from Alex Elbrow. That time through, another 10th of a second was gained by the Lotus Cortina over the Plymouth Belvedere. So one pit stoppage in there, which is Mike Stevenson's dive to the pit lane this time through. So the number 52 Lotus Cortina dives for the pits, which now means that Neil Howe does take up 5th position at the wheel of the Triumph TR4. It also now means that Simon Scantlebury moves up into 6th place. Adrian Block in the Ford Galaxy moves up to 7th. And up to 8th place will come the MGB Roadster of Steve Atkinson, who is about to come through and over the start-finish line any second now. So 25 minutes and a bit of change still on the clock. A little bit of adjustment to tyre pressures for Mike Stevenson's car. And that will be largely to make sure that the tyres are back into the sweet spot. Of course, all of these cars are very clear in specifications, so they do run the historic tyre as well, cross-ply tyre, which means that cars do move around a lot. They don't offer up a great deal of grip, but the grip level of these will have improved now that the track has pretty much dried out. An observation there, but that's not really going to affect cars. Number 52 still stationary in the pits. So it's a minute and a half from pit in to pit out, and now down the pit lane. stop sign. Jack is down there. I have reported Andrew Rollison's pit stop take place, and I noticed you mentioned that isn't a remote. There's a little toggle on the back of the screen, on the right hand side on the back of the screen. You've got to press it up or down, the buttons on the channel you want, and eventually you find the page that you did. Thank you for that. Let's have a quick look. So it'd be page number 5, wouldn't it? So just have a quick look.